This is Dave Toronto. The name of this podcast is called Cut Through the Noise. The intention of the podcast is to provide common sense perspectives and conversations about things like people, business, communication, and a little bit of life. I'll be doing most of them on my own and occasionally bringing on guests like clients and people in my network. So I look forward to doing it. Hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please subscribe and be sure to share with your friends. Today's topic is open door policies. And for those who don't know what one is, it's simply when a manager says to their employees that they want to have an open line of communication. Their door is always open. They want the employee to trust them enough to come and share ideas or concerns with them. And the intentions are typically really, really good. They just want to improve the opportunity that they have with each person. They want people to feel like they're part of something, that their voice matters, and it's all typically very, very good. That said, open door policies can break down pretty quickly if we don't understand what can undermine them. So we're going to talk about things that can undermine an open door policy and then ways to fix that. The one thing that we're not going to spend a lot of time on is the type of manager out there that abuses the open door policy for devious reasons, and by that I mean, and unfortunately I know a couple people like this, and I've avoided them. Is they use the open door policy as a way to gather dirt on their people, as a way to pit people against each other, build cases against them. And these are typically organizations that have tremendous turnover, toxic environments. I'm not talking about them today. Those are the exception to the rule. I'm talking about good, well-intentioned managers that just simply want to improve communication with their people. And why do those things get off track? And then those managers that actually have effective communication as a result of the open door, what are they doing that maybe the others aren't? So let's talk about what can cause an open door to kind of fall apart unintentionally. So there's the manager side of it and the employee side of it. The employee side of it, where it could go wrong, is the employee misunderstands the intention of the open door. Some employees can easily view the open door as a license to complain, where they say, wow, I've got direct access to this manager now. I can tell them everything that's going on. I can give them my opinions on what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and you know it, and here it comes, and I'm gonna tell you everything. And there's a major downside to that. The other thing that an employee like this is typically guilty of is not only do they view it as a license to complain, they see it as an opportunity to do so anonymously, and they kind of treat the manager as if they are the chief problem solver. You're the boss, you're the manager, you have to deal with it. I'm telling you what you don't know. I'm telling you about everything that you've been oblivious to. I'm kind of your right-hand person. I'm here to take care of you because you don't know these things, and it's my job to kind of be the informer. These are not good scenarios. They happen all the time, where the manager becomes a little too cozy with an employee or a few employees that become a backdoor channel to them about everything that's wrong, in quotes, with the other people and the processes and departments, etc. And they want to be clean in it, and they want the manager to fix it. Now, a sophisticated manager is going to see right through that and recognize the downside and the pitfalls of reacting to this too quickly or at all. So that's one whole side, when the employee totally views it as a vehicle to complain, or a vehicle to, sometimes the complaints are softer complaints, and they just want help. They just want help, and they bring the challenge to the manager, hoping the manager can fix it for them. And maybe it's not about somebody else, but it's still something that could cause the whole intention of the open door to break down. Why is that? Well, the other side of that is a manager who has a desire to please. These are the weaker managers, the managers that need to please. They want to make sure that they're there for their employees, and they've got the answers, and they're there to save the day, and they're there to take the problems off their plate. These are enabling qualities that only condition the employee to keep coming back. When you've got a manager that needs to solve the problem, or it could be pure ego-driven as well, where the manager I just need things done my way. I want to be the one with the answers. I need to know that I saved the day. I need to know that if it wasn't for me, this wouldn't have been resolved. There's a whole ego component to it. When that happens, you're conditioning and enabling your employees to need you. You're basically creating an environment where they never have to solve a problem on their own. I remember as a kid, kids in my neighborhood, certain kids, the minute they had a problem, they didn't try to resolve the problem. They ran home and told mom and dad, and then mom and dad would come down and try to solve their problems for them. That would only create more distance between the friends, between the kids. It would also create more distance between the neighborhood and the parent. So it never really was effective long term. The kid who always got to squeal to the parents, had parents fixing their problems, never taught the kid how to solve a problem. The same thing happens in a company. When you have a manager that loves to solve problems or needs to solve problems, loves to fix things or needs to fix things, you're often unintentionally conditioning the employee to not have to do that. You're also not developing a leader. There's a subset of managers that they don't want to teach their employees how to make decisions. They don't want to teach their employees how to do certain things because they want to be the ones who know those things. They don't want another person. God forbid I teach somebody how to do my job. God forbid I teach another leader. I could be out of work. That's a weaker manager who doesn't want their employee to know what they know or to be as skilled as they are. So that's one issue on the manager side, is they become an enabler. The other issue is when the manager decides to act on whatever the employee might be telling them through that open door. It could be sensitive information, or it could be something about somebody else. If they just assume that what they're hearing is accurate or complete or true or whatever you want to call it, and they decide to act on it, and they decide to go speak on that employee's behalf to the other party, what do you think is going on in the mind of the other party? When I go and I say something to them about something you said, what are they thinking? What are they saying? Well, what they're saying is why didn't they come to me directly? Why did they go tell you? I just had lunch with this person, and now I'm finding out from you that they have a problem, or I'm finding out from you that they said this. So the next time they get together, there's going to be a lot of awkwardness there. A naive manager that's too eager to solve a problem is going to unintentionally create a divide between their employees if they start speaking on behalf of their employees. The other thing that they'll do is reduce their own credibility with the other side. If the other side sees the manager as had already sided with the first party, that other side is saying, well, what makes you think they're right? Well, what about our side of things? Do you not have an ability to see that there's multiple ways of looking at this situation? We actually have our own version of that story as well. Why would you have inserted yourself so early? So there are multiple ways in which this open door can devolve into a back door or just a broken door. So what do we do about it? Well, one of the first things that was said to me years ago, I had a manager who I had a lot of respect for, I still do, and I remember this advice to this day. There are a few things that they said to me, but one of them was, and this is before we met, this was a phone conversation, was, Dave, you can come to me and talk to me about anything, provided that, and the one stipulation is that you bring a solution. What you're not allowed to do is come to me and complain about other people or to complain about a problem inside the organization unless you've thought through a solution. It doesn't have to be a perfect solution. We can tweak it, we can talk about it, but don't come to me and hand me a problem and expect me to deal with it. And a lot of that came from the perspective of what I just talked about before, which is the knowledge that if I handed a problem and they took the problem off my hands, here are the other things that are going to go wrong ultimately. So the first thing when you have an open door policy is to encourage it, but also say, but there's a stipulation here, and it's that you bring me a solution. If you're gonna take advantage of the open door, which I want you to, you better bring a solution as well. The second thing that you need to tell them is, I'm not there to fix the problem. Now, the one caveat to this is if somebody shares something highly sensitive, legal in nature, threatening in nature, you have to do something about it. Those are the situations, all rules go out the window. If it involves the safety or legal or whatever, you deal with it. You're not worried about how anyone feels at that point. Those are situations you just have to act on them as a smart manager. I've been in those situations before, and you got to deal with them. Everything outside of that, though, you got to let them know, I'm not here to fix it. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to give advice if you want it. I'm here to make recommendations if you want them. I'm here to guide you if that's what you're looking for. So 1 is you're there because you want to hear their solutions. 2 is I'm there not to fix but to guide you. And the third thing is they have to know that you're going to redirect them to resolve this particular issue or challenge or whatever it is that they're bringing to you. Not everything through the open door is a problem, but when there is a problem, they need to know that you're going to redirect them to resolve it. And ideally, you're going to help them navigate whatever conversations they aren't navigating so that they can do it in their own ultimately. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. If you're going to have an open door, not only are you improving the quality of communication with your people, there's an opportunity to help build them and grow them into better decision makers and better problem solvers. And to help increase their confidence so they're not always leaning on the manager or you or whoever it is to be the fixer. So the smart people are using the open door to develop and hone their own skills, the smart employees, and the smart managers are keeping them in that bucket, making sure that they are spending the time to develop the person and not take the problems off their plate. This is a very, very, very common challenge that happens almost everywhere I go. I don't think I have a client today that hasn't experienced this. And this is the type of advice I give every single time to make sure that they don't fall into this trap going forward. So my hope is this offers you a little bit of value. And if you have run into some of these issues, I'd encourage you to try one of the ideas that was shared today, and look forward to our conversation next week. Talk soon.